Good morning. It's Sunday, September 8th, and you are live with Bob Phibbs, the retail doc. Thanks for joining me. I am curious today as you are logging in and letting me know you're there. What is the weather today where you are? Is it sunny or soggy? In upstate New York, it is a beautiful day that poets probably dream of with a cool morning, but a little mist rising off the Hudson River, and birds are out and singing, and everybody's preparing to get ready for fall, which is feels like it's getting earlier this year where I am, but it is sunny. So wherever you're joining me from, I encourage you to let me know your name. Just type it in there or your name. I'll know your name, but sunny or soggy today. And if you want to go crazy and let me know where in the world you are, that would be great as well. I'm going to start off today by talking about Retail Refresh. Is my brand new program. It's going to debut on Wednesday, September the 18th. It runs $99. And for 8 weeks, I will take one topic and we will go over some of the best practices. I'll give you an activity. Will be new ways for you to look at marketing your business or planning for staffing needs or merchandising and things like that. There'll be 8 different topics and there'll be 8 activities. And at the end of each one of those half-hour sessions, they're on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern time. You'll be able to download it if you miss one. But when you do the work, we'll discuss that the next week. We'll discuss and move on to the next topic. And it's only $99 for 8 weeks of yours truly. And also, the prize at the end will be announced next week, be sponsored by Lightspeed POS. But if you do the activities, you'll be eligible to have a prize. And I'm going to talk about that next week, but I don't want to steal the thunder. And right now, because that Lightspeed is offering a 20% discount on software costs and a complimentary payments terminal, and to see if that's right for you, you can book a demo, and I'll put that in the comments below. Spokane, I don't know. Is it soggy or is it sunny where you are there, Jason? And Nancy, sunny Southern Pines. Oh, soggy overnight. Well, there you go. All right. And it is an affiliate link, but it'll be good for you to be able to save some money and find out if that's right for you. So the Retail Refresh again is coming up on September the 18th. I asked several of you over whether it's LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook what your questions would be. I only have 5 today, so I will take any of yours live if you have other questions. Jason, it's hot here. Oh, that's right. I forgot the West Coast is baking. I forgot about that. I have 5 questions that I'll answer. And if you have any while I'm live, you can certainly ask and I will answer it live. And by the way, all of your questions or comments after the broadcast, I will answer. And do me a favor and give me some thumbs up, because the algorithms are always listening and always wanting to know if somebody finds value in it. So that's what matters, right? All right. So Mike says, how long should you keep items in stock before marking them down? Well, that's like a whole topic there, Mike. But the greatest example, I was talking to a new client the other day, and he said, the way I was taught is to think of your merchandise like a banana. And, we can all see when it is too ripe. But a lot of times, I think retailers don't really take that fresh view. And when something stops being picked up and when something stops being interesting and your crew has become bored with it, then I think what you have to take a hard look at is maybe that I bought too many. Maybe I was buying what I liked and what my customer didn't like. But I'm a big believer on saying mark it down quicker, because if you leave it there, we all know what happens to bananas. They get flies and nobody wants it. And then you're just taking up shelf space. And just remember, that's kind of the whole point of retail, right? You buy something for, let's say, $5 and you want to sell it for $100. That'd be a great business to be in. And the whole goal is to maximize that money, right? To take that $5 and make it into something more. The problem is that when you buy that $5 item, and let's say you market at $10, right? It's sitting on the shelf. And if it's not returning that money, if it's not giving you that potential to make more money, then what you're doing is you're effectively killing your bank account, because that profit margin you thought is just getting smaller and smaller. And that's why a lot of smart retailers get out of merchandise regularly They don't necessarily have a 30% off sale. I'm not a fan of those, or 20%, but they do go through and regularly call the herd. And I think that's important for everybody, no matter what you sell, right? Whether it's dresses or widgets or electronics. Nancy asks, what are the best ways to keep customers engaged and thinking about our gallery between visits, especially when the purchase cycle for art or custom framing might be months or even years? Should we focus on digital content, community events, or exclusive previews? I think the most important thing that everybody on this broadcast should be thinking about is your list, which is why you always want to have a physical list of people who bought things from you. If you can mail something and you can do something compelling, that's why I say hire a graphics designer, because it has to, just because it gets in the house doesn't mean you're not going to be over the wastebasket. So you want something that's going to be innovative and it's going to catch their attention. Then you're going to go through and make sure that you're putting something out there. So maybe you're going to follow it up with an email list, because there's ways, I talk about it in one of my books, about how you can transition your physical list to an email list. But when you get that email list, then you got to have something compelling to talk to them about. And in your case, I just use Magic Bob. You'll, since you're in the retail refresh, you'll find out about him in a couple of weeks, Nancy. But one of the things I looked for is what kind of things could we talk about, and she came up with these titles. This is me. 5 ways to reinvigorate your living room by moving your art. That's one. How to use a stud finder, hanging pictures in drywall. And then I would ask you, how long is too long to have a piece of art rolled up? Anything that you can do to get in front of them once a month on a regular basis. I tell this story a lot, but Swans Art, they were in Glendale, California for, oh my goodness, 75 or something years. And every single month they would put out a half page, half sheet, piece of paper. And so it's big. It's not something that's easily missed. And on the front would be something like they're having, doesn't matter, colored paper on sale for X amount of money. And if you brought it in, or if you're on their, their POS, you'd get the discount. And then the next might be envelopes. Then it might be Halloween decorations. It might be anything. It didn't really matter. My point was they got into your house every single month. And so whether you needed paper that month or typewriter supplies, they've been around a long time, whatever it was, they got in the door. And I think that's the challenge for all of us, that a smartphone, we are scrolling through things within 2 seconds. Really hard to come up with a great compelling video in 2 seconds that's not a cat or a dog related video that's going to get people to stop. So doing that takes a lot of work. I do a little of it, like doing this. I'd rather do a live video than to try to figure it out and try to get the algorithm to be perfect. But when you go through and you spend your time to just be really deliberate about, this is what we're going to do. That's why in my newsletter we have a 12-month editorial calendar. What we're going to talk about, just like a magazine. What we're going to talk about, how does this relate to our brand, and then being able to stay in contact with them, and then always growing that list. That's your number one asset. And if you have a large following on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or wherever it is, those are their customers. Your goal is to come up with something that makes them want to become your customers and get them on your list, because ultimately you can't really market to them unless you spend the money. So I hope that helps. If you like what I have to say, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, the algorithm only knows that you're finding value in this if you stay on the call, which many of you have, but more importantly, you give it some thumbs up that it knows it's going on. So Nancy, I hope that, yeah, you will like Magic Bob. I know he's pretty cool. I don't know why we give genders to software. That's stupid. I've always given genders to all kinds of things. That's probably time to stop. My cars were always feminine, and I don't know, it's just kind of a thing that guys probably do. Doesn't say we should be doing it continuous. Okay. Jewel says, men in the 40 to 60 age bracket seem to be one of my biggest and highest dollar customer bases. That's because that makes sense. They have the money to collect some of my more expensive collectible lines and are good at getting their families really nice gifts. But marketing to new customers in that bracket is a real challenge, as many are not on Facebook and don't seem to respond well to Facebook ads in my experience. Any suggestions? First thing, Jules, is to say, where are they? Right. So it could be anything from if they go to car shows, if they if they go to a golf course or an auto dealer or even a local coffee house, you might look at doing a joint promotion. And what that means is you and this other business or group come up with a joint flyer. So on one half is you and one's the other, and you both agree to mail it to your list, because otherwise you don't give them your list. But you would do that to try to get in front of them. But it's kind of like the same thing I was saying earlier about swans and talking about the gallery. You've got to have something of value that these guys are going to want. And I did a quick study of age range of people who are on Facebook, and 19% of all who are on Facebook are 35 to 44. So that's part of your audience, and 14% are 45 to 54. The highest was 23% who were in their 30s. I wouldn't say that that's damning, but I would say people in their 40s, 60s typically have grandkids, and that's why I wouldn't quite buy into that idea that they're not on Facebook. I'm pretty sure they're on Facebook. You just haven't cracked the code of Facebook. So consider what you're putting out there. Would it make you stop scrolling? Show your last 5 posts to somebody and say, if you saw these, would you be curious? And they say no, and you say, show me what you would look at, and start getting that dialogue going. And then I would certainly say you want to be on Instagram as well, because if you're some kind of collectible, the algorithm can find that a heck of a lot easier than you can on trying to come up with the perfect ad. Okay, so I'm down to my last one. If you have a question, you can answer it now. If you have a question now, I can answer it now. There you go. Bob says, how do you teach people to become motivated in their job rather than be stocking the shelf or cleaning or dusting it? I don't want to be a micromanager, and I'm sure employees don't like to be micromanaged either. I still say thank you for their hard work every day, even if they don't accomplish what I have set them during the day or the night. Well, I always start, Bob, you start off with compassion. So why is it they aren't involved? Why is it they aren't doing it? Asking can help you craft a strategy. Just being interested to take interest with that. I would certainly say finding one of the most menial jobs that you hate doing and they hate doing, and doing it together can help you bond a little bit to ask that question. You don't want to just kind of randomly come out and ask that. And you've got to teach what success looks like, right? So give them the tools to succeed, show them how they can do that and how that links to what they want to get out of life or what they want to do better. But that said, I wouldn't be thanking people every day if they hadn't been doing the job. And I think many retailers are putting up with behaviors because they're just afraid of having uncomfortable conversations. And if that's you have to look at yourself and maybe make a switch and say, maybe I'm looking at this all wrong. Maybe there's another way to do it. And I hope that helps. All right. So the Retail Refresh starts September 18th. Registration is $99, and I will put the link in the comments here. It's 60 days to holiday success with me. Next week, I'm going to announce that prize. And if you find value in this, which I hope you do, please feel free to share this with your friends. And I will look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks so much.